Little sugar cubes. It's New Age here, all by my lonesome. But that's okay because I'm here with like a new segment or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call it Sugary Advice. And so today on Sugary Advice, I'm gonna give you 5 tips on building up your confidence. And especially like we have a lot of younger viewers right now, ranging from like 6 years old to I don't know, 14, I'm guessing, in that range of numeros. I don't even know if I spoke real Spanish, but anyway, so these are 5 different tips that you can use to build up your confidence. And while we do that, I'm gonna play the Giant because I personally love this map. So, and plus I spent money on it. I might as well play it. So, alright, first thing to building up your confidence is find your interest. Now, this is like finding your interest, especially at 6 to 14 years old, is extremely difficult because you get a lot of people who come up to you and they're like, well, what do you like to do? And at that age, heck, you just do whatever your parents threw you into. But it's really important to find like what interests you. Like for me growing up, I was really interested in like gaming. I got into theater when I was young, and I got into like film and stuff like that. And that's just something that like I started getting more involved in. Which brings me to like a sub point to finding your interest. Once you find your interest, get involved with it. Whether that's doing something at your school, doing something like getting your parents to enroll you in something, whether that's sports or gaming or doing something like that. I think it's really important to find your interest, get involved with your interest, and kind of engross yourself into that kind of environment. Step number like under getting involved, no matter what it is, no matter what your interest is, engross yourself. And don't worry about like other people. I think that's really important. Whether you're a boy who loves to dance, like ballet, something like that, know yourself. With the anticipation, just know that yes, bullies are out there, haters are out there. It's gonna happen. I can't keep it from happening. I wish I could. If I could help you keep away those kind of people, I would. But don't let that decrease or like depreciate your ideals for building up your own confidence. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, get to know people of similar interests. So what that means, once you find what you're interested in, once you've started to engross yourself more deeply in what you're interested, get to know people who share your common interest. This is going to do 2 things. 1, when you start to get those bullies, those haters, those whatever you want to call them, who are tearing you down, you're going to be able to look back and say, look at this group of friends, look at these people, look at these, I don't know, other guys who share my interest of ballet, whatever it might be. They're going to be able to back you up. You're going to have that people, those friends that you can go to whenever and tell them, like, this is what I'm interested in, this is what I'm struggling with, and they're going to defend you and help you build your own confidence. So you're building confidence together at this point. You've started your own little community of confidence builders. Something else important, when you are doing this, when you're finding and hanging out with people of similar interest, start hanging out with them face to face. Especially in this generation. I don't think this is talked about enough. Don't do it through text or FaceTime. Do it one-on-one with somebody. This is going to do multiple things for you. First off, it's going to get you used to socializing in environments where you have to see people's face. It's going to help you when you get a job. It's going to help you when you get to high school, when you have to do group projects. It's going to help your public speaking, all of that. Additionally, it's going to help, like, I don't know, find you. Because the social screen, so your cell phone, your laptop, watching this YouTube video, it distorts who you are. It distorts the real you from the social you. For example, how many times have you put something through a text, through a comment, that you would otherwise not say something to somebody's face? So getting one-on-one communication with a person is ideal. It's key. I think it's probably one of the most important things to do. So that brings us to step number 3. And step number 3 isn't like super fun to think about, but it's super important. You need to identify your own faults and your own weaknesses. Now, you're probably thinking, New Age, like, I'm trying to build my confidence. Why are you trying to tear me down, making me think about my faults and weaknesses? It's exactly for that reason, knowing your faults and weaknesses, that somebody else can't tear you down about your own faults and weaknesses, because you already know about them. When you know about like what you're weak at, where your, strengths are not your strongest, then when some hater or some person who's going to insult you comes up to you and tells you, oh, you're weak at that, one, you're not going to be surprised by it because you know that about yourself. Also, it's going to help you build humility for other people. When you realize that you're not always perfect, when you realize you are not 100% and that you have room for improvements, you're going to come to the realization that, other people also aren't perfect. You're going to build humility and an understanding for other individuals. And I think that's key. I think that's most important. I think that's how you get the idea of loving everybody and in building both a community of love and generosity for one another from just learning that we are all imperfect individuals. So identifying your faults and weaknesses is going to help you do that. It's going to help defend yourself against others, pointing them out for you. And then it's also going to make room for yourself to improve on yourself. So like some self-improvements. When you can identify like, oh, for example, I'll use me for an example. I'm not very strong with, always with the social aspects, believe it or not. I'm a very social person, but sometimes I say stupid stuff. And a lot of times that comes from the social screen distorting the social me. So knowing that that's a weakness of mine, I'm able to improve on that for myself. I'm able to identify and pay more attention to it so that I build a better me. I build my confidence. Number four is kind of funny, but seriously, I'll explain it. It will make sense. Number 4, take a shower. No, I don't mean that you stink. I don't mean that you need to like put some deodorant on. I say take a shower so that you can understand that you have emotions. Understanding and dealing with emotions, I think, is one of the biggest things in life that you'll ever go through. And by taking a shower, at least for me, is the one activity that I have to separate myself from the world, to separate myself from everybody else, and just relax. Just find my peace, my area where I can sit down, I can enjoy myself, I can, just let off a load. And there's something about, and this is different for everybody, there's something about I might cut out. But anyways, there's something about taking a shower for me that just allows me to do that. Allows me to understand that I'm dealing with that emotion. It's important to, when dealing with emotions, to understand that as human beings, humans cry. And here's an even bigger hint, even men cry. Oh my goodness, like, it's crazy. Like, what? Men cry. Guess what? It's an emotion. Everybody is gonna do it. Everybody should do it. And if that means that you have to take a shower, like I do, to separate yourself from everybody else so that you can let out a good cry, you need to do it. And here's the reason why. If you need to cry, do it because it's your body's way of releasing that pent-up energy, that pent-up emotion. If you are holding that emotion in, if you are allowing yourself to let somebody get to you so badly that you can't allow yourself to cry, if you can't get that time for yourself to let up that anger, that frustration, then you're going to end up doing more damage to yourself. So finding that private space, whether that's, going to the bathroom, whether that's finding that shower, whatever, to just allow yourself to be a real human being and let out that emotion, then do so. Do it for yourself because that's going to help you improve, one, on building your confidence, and it's going to help you realize that you have more humility for other people. Do it. This, if you take anything from like a quote from this section or this identification of building your confidence, it's do what you have to do so that you can fresh up and do what you want to do. Because if you are worrying every day, all the time, about whether or not, oh, am I going to cry, or am I going to let out an emotion, am I going to let this person get to me, then your life is going to be very, it's going to be painful. It's going to be hard to deal with because you can't allow yourself to identify your emotion and then release it. And that's why humans have the ability to cry. You have the ability to release that tension, to do something for yourself that's both, it's not a demeaning thing. It's not something that should be put down. It's something that you're building your confidence. You're building you. And that out of everything is probably most important. And number 5, kind of like closing this off and giving you something else to think about, and that's gonna help. Oh, I'm getting stuck in the corner, but that's gonna help you improve upon your self-confidence is being proud of yourself, okay, but not prideful of yourself. And I hear it all the time in YouTube videos and from these people who say that they can give you advice and things to just be proud of who you are. And that's always important, trust me. It is always important to be proud of what you do and be happy with who you are. That's going to help you build confidence in yourself. However, in the process of building your confidence and building this ideal lifestyle of, a more ideal you, it's so easy to distract yourself in this idea that, you have to build yourself in a prideful manner. For all the viewers who don't understand what that means, who don't understand the difference between being proud and being prideful. Proudness is when you are, say for example, you do something, you're proud of your accomplishment, you're happy of who you are, you're happy of what you've done, and that's important, that's ideal, that's key. But when you get to the point where then you have to look at other people and act like because of your accomplishment, other people's accomplishments are less important, that's when you become a prideful individual. And that brings a lack of love for one another, a lack of humility, and when you bring upon that lack of humility, you're not helping anybody else, you're not helping yourself build confidence, you're just being a hindrance, and that's not, what's needed. So again, be proud of yourself, not prideful of yourself, and that's going to build respect, it's going to build love, and it's going to build an understanding for everybody. Because as much as Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. And in this nation, in the world that we live in nowadays, there's like nothing more important than coming to the realization that it's not one group of people, we're all humans. We all deserve the love and respect, whether we're here in the good old US of A or America, or whether we're somewhere clear across the ocean on the other side of the world doing something that maybe isn't what we do every day. We're still human beings, and we still all deserve the same respect as anybody else. And doing that is going to help you build your confidence. So that's been 5 sugary advice tips on how you can build your confidence and how you can go ahead and help others also build their own confidence as well. So this is New Age 90. I hope that you'll take the time to subscribe. Hopefully we'll do some more of these as we go through and do some other little advice columns. Make sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it, give it a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Let us know. Is this enjoyable? Is it not enjoyable? I'm doing this for you. We gotta work together to build this creative, sugary amount of goodness in the world. If you want to stick after, I see that there's been a lot of comments. I've been kind of rushing, or not rushing, but I've been kind of going through this, and I haven't really been reading them, so I'll definitely take the time out to read them after I end this broadcast. But if you want to stick around, I'll get on again in a couple minutes if you've been watching this live stream, and I'll do another live stream as like kind of a follow-up to this if you want to ask questions maybe I didn't answer, etc., etc. Whatever you want to do, I will go ahead and make another one in probably the next 10 to 15 minutes. So watch out for that. Subscribe, you'll know as soon as it's live and it's up. Also feel free to follow us on Twitter, that's always fun, and then we'll let you know when we have anything coming up or doing anything special. So again, this is New Age 90. I'm gonna sign off before I die, so I'm gonna talk to you all later. Peace.